We're counting down the 6 car brands collapsing fastest in today's fierce auto market. From shrinking model lineups and vanishing dealerships to brands abandoning their identity and leaving owners stranded, each entry exposes new levels of instability that dealers rarely admit. Some are luxury icons falling into obscurity. Others still appear strong, but hide crisis beneath the surface. Which brand faces the steepest downfall? Let's begin with number 6. Mitsubishi once sold over 340,000 cars a year in the United States. Now, annual sales have plunged to under 100,000, down more than 70% from its early 2000s peak. Dealer lots are crowded with unsold cars, many of them last year's models, and some stores have shuttered as profits dried up. The Outlander Sport still rides on a platform first launched in 2011. The Mirage, long known for its bargain price, has been discontinued with no replacement in sight. Mitsubishi's entire United States lineup is down to just 4 vehicles, all aging and facing reliability questions, especially with their CVT transmissions. The company's reputation never fully recovered from a 2000 cover-up of safety defects and a 2016 fuel economy scandal that forced a bailout by Nissan. Mitsubishi promises new models and an electric crossover by 2026, but with shrinking dealer support and models losing value fast, buyers face real risk. Infiniti once stood at the forefront of Japanese luxury, selling more than 153,000 vehicles in the United States at its 2017 peak. Fast forward to 2024, and sales have plunged to just over 58,000. In 2025, the number dropped again to 52,846, a collapse of nearly 2/3 in 8 years. The model lineup has withered just as quickly. Production of the Q50 sedan ended in 2024, and both the QX50 and the QX55 crossovers concluded their run in 2025. That leaves Infiniti showrooms with only 2 main SUVs, the QX60 and the QX80. Most standalone Infiniti showrooms have closed, with remaining stores now sharing space with Nissan. The brand's shift away from its performance roots, such as the G35 and the FX, toward generic crossovers failed to inspire loyalty. Recalls for powertrain, brake, and airbag issues, many tied to shared Nissan engineering, have haunted owners for years. With shrinking sales, a hollowed-out lineup, and fewer dedicated dealers, Infiniti's future as a luxury contender grows more uncertain every year. Chrysler once stood as an American powerhouse, selling more than 640,000 vehicles in 2005, and it helped shape the auto industry with icons like the Hemi Vive 8 and the original minivan. That era is over. In 2024, Chrysler's United States sales fell below 125,000, a collapse of over 80%. The Chrysler 300, once a symbol of affordable luxury, ended production in December 2023. The Voyager is now reserved for fleet buyers, and the Pacifica minivan is the brand's only true consumer model. Even that last pillar is eroding, with Pacifica sales down 11% in 2024 as buyers shift to Honda, Toyota, and Kia rivals. Stellantis, Chrysler's parent company, pinned hopes on the Airflow electric vehicle concept, but executives canceled the project mid-development because it was too costly and already outdated. With no new models on the horizon and only a single minivan left, Chrysler fits CEO Carlos Tavares' warning that some Stellantis brands may disappear by 2026. For families, the risk is clear. Shrinking dealer support, uncertain parts availability, and the real possibility of owning a vehicle abandoned by its own manufacturer. Jaguar's collapse is almost without precedent in the luxury car world. In April 2025, European registration data showed just 49 Jaguars sold, down from nearly 2,000 the same month a year before. That is a 97.5% drop in a single month, and year to date, sales across Europe have fallen more than 75%. Globally, Jaguar now moves fewer than 27,000 cars a year, an 85% crash from its 2018 peak. The company responded with a complete rebrand in late 2024, stripping away the iconic leaping cat logo in favor of a minimalist wordmark and launching the Copy Nothing campaign. Not a single car appeared in the ads. The backlash was immediate, with longtime fans and media calling it brand erasure rather than reinvention. By 2025, Jaguar had discontinued the XE, XF, F-Type, E-Pace, and I-Pace, leaving only limited stock of the F-Pace SUV. Dealers were left with empty showrooms and no new product to sell for more than a year. Jaguar's own managing director Rod Glover admitted that it will be 2027 when the company is delivering cars in earnest. That means a multi-year vacuum before the ultra-luxury electric vehicles arrive, if they arrive at all. Independent data from RepairPal rates. Jaguar just 2.5 out of 5 for reliability, ranking it 29th out of 32 brands. For owners, this is not just a slow fade. It is a free fall in resale value and support. Analysts estimate only a fraction of current Jaguar buyers will ever return after this reset, leaving the brand's future in question and existing owners facing a total collapse in confidence. Jeep and Dodge owners are facing a storm that goes far beyond shrinking sales. On dealer lots across the country, the numbers tell a troubling story. The Jeep Compass now sits unsold for an average of 198 days, with more than 21,000 units piling up. The Grand Cherokee is not far behind, at 167 days supply, and over 48,000 vehicles waiting for buyers. These are not just idle statistics. They mean dealers are overwhelmed, cash is locked up in aging inventory, and new buyers are harder to find. Safety is now a daily worry for thousands. In the past year, Stellantis issued a recall for over 91,000 Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in hybrids after reports of sudden power loss while driving. The official NHTSA recall bulletin warns of a propulsion system failure that can strike without warning, leaving drivers stranded or at risk on the highway. Owners report months-long waits for repairs, with some vehicles spending more time at the dealership than in their driveways. One Michigan couple took their brand new Grand Cherokee 4xe in for service, only to have it sit in the shop for 8 months during their 39-month lease. Their lawsuit describes a cycle of breakdowns, missed deadlines, and mounting frustration. These problems are not isolated. Owner forums are filled with complaints about electrical faults, fuel system failures, and repeated stalling, even in vehicles with low mileage. Consumer Reports now ranks Jeep near the bottom for reliability among all car brands. The backlog of recalls and warranty claims is straining Stellantis dealer networks to the breaking point. Hundreds of dealerships have closed or consolidated, leaving remaining service centers overwhelmed and parts harder to come by. For current owners, this means longer waits for repairs, uncertain warranty support, and a growing risk that their next breakdown will not have an easy fix. The scale of these issues puts hundreds of thousands of vehicles and their owners in the crosshairs of a system that may no longer be able to support them. Nissan faces a reckoning unlike any in its 92-year history. Once a symbol of global ambition, the company now stands on the brink, its future clouded by numbers that speak for themselves. Global sales have collapsed by 43% since their peak, falling from 5.8 million vehicles to a projected 3.3 million by 2026. The company forecasts a $5 billion loss this year, the largest in its history, and has already slashed 20,000 jobs worldwide. Plants have closed, and production lines have gone silent in regions that once anchored Nissan's growth. North America, and especially the United States, still offers a lifeline, with 865,000 vehicles sold last year. But even here, the surface stability masks deeper fractures. The Ariya, Nissan's flagship electric crossover, was meant to signal a new era. Instead, its sales have dropped sharply, and the company has canceled further expansion plans. Other models have vanished from showrooms, and rumors of additional cuts circulate as Nissan scrambles to conserve cash. The fallout from Carlos Ghosn's arrest in 2018 lingers. Leadership turmoil and boardroom battles fractured the Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi alliance, leaving Nissan adrift. Efforts to forge a lifeline through a $60 billion merger with Honda failed, and talks with other partners have gone nowhere. Ratings agencies have downgraded Nissan, citing persistent losses and mounting threats from Chinese electric vehicle makers who have eroded Nissan's share in its most important growth markets. For millions of owners, the consequences are immediate. When an automaker of this scale teeters, the shockwaves ripple through every part of the ownership experience. Dealer networks shrink, parts become scarce, and warranty support can vanish if bankruptcy or restructuring occurs. Vehicles lose value as uncertainty grows. The Financial Times warns Nissan may have only 12 to 14 months to avoid collapse. With Foxconn circling and no major rescue in sight, every Nissan on the road now carries a question. Will the company behind it survive long enough to honor its promises? Across all 6 collapses, one pattern is clear. When car makers lose vision, owners pay the price. Today, shrinking lineups and failing networks mean a car's badge is no guarantee of future support. In this market, every purchase is a risk. Choose wisely and think long term.